In the winter of 2020, one of the most unprecedented years known to man in America, the Peekskill bid hosted a stop on the Harriet Tubman sculpture tour. The statue has already appeared in Montgomery, Alabama, Cambridge, Maryland, and Cape May, New Jersey. The Tubman statue was in Newburgh prior to arriving in Peekskill. The 9-foot-tall bronze artwork entitled Harriet Tubman, The Journey to Freedom by sculptor Wesley Wofford is touring the nation and depicts Tubman leading the enslaved young girl to freedom. With the youngster in tow, Tubman has a determined look as she faces into the headwinds of freedom. The incoming and former female executive officers of the Peekskill NAACP paid tribute by answering the question, what does Harriet Tubman's life and legacy mean to you today in 2020?
Hi, my name is Valerie Eaton, and I'm the president of the Peekskill NAACP. And today, the women of the Peekskill NAACP answer an important question about this queen here, Harriet Tubman. And we want to know, what does Harriet Tubman's life and legacy mean to you?
In 2020, the life of Harriet Tubman, there seems to be a light at the end of this tunnel. And we are praying and hoping that the life that she lived will prevail in the fact that we as blacks will have freedom at last and will be treated as outstanding human beings, because that's what we are. And I just want you all to know that we have excelled in every single kind of thing in life, in this life. We're the best in everything. And I think we're going to exemplify that in having her statue here. That as we walk past this statue, we'll remember the trials and tribulations that she went through and what she meant to us and what she meant to the generations to come from now on. And I thank you for this time, and God bless you all.
We are so honored and so privileged and humbled to have Ms. Harriet Tubman here in Peekskill. She has been the inspiration of courage and creativity and the symbol for freedom for so many Black Americans and so many Americans across the world. What she means to me is to never give up, because freedom isn't free. Sometimes when I get so tired of doing so many things, I think about what Harriet Tubman did for a living. As I go around New York State helping a lot of minority and women-owned businesses, I know that I cannot give up, because they cannot give up the struggle, because I cannot give up the struggle for them. I'm here for them. I'm here for myself, my family. Harriet Tubman has left a legacy for all of us to learn that as one makes it, we all make it. As this sculpture shows with her leading this young girl, we have to all help and lead each other. So again, welcome to Peekskill Harriet Tubman. Again, Keisha Palmer Cousins, Peekskill NAACP, Civic Engagement Chair, and Second VP. Thank you.
As we close out 2020 and I reflect on Harriet Tubman, I think about her perseverance, her strength, how hopeful she was, her fortitude. As a child, we learned about her. We saw that one iconic picture of her when she was much older. But as an adult, I learned how young she was when she started creating a network of women, just like we have here at the Peekskill NAACP today, a network of women who are strong and will fight for justice. I think about how many children and families she brought to safety. And I'm proud to know that my own sons, when they traced their ancestry, had a grandmother, a great-great-great-grandmother on the paternal side who made some of the quilts that were leading people to the north through the Underground Railroad. And it's amazing to think about all these women that bonded together to make this happen, with Harriet Tubman leading the way. And I'm very proud to have this statue in Peekskill, that everybody can know that we can have this kind of hope and fortitude to move forward as well.
Harriet Tubman, what does she mean to me in 2020? Well, Harriet Tubman was, in her time, she was just a warrior. She didn't want to take or be involved in what they wanted her to be involved in. She wanted to make a change. So she decided to be part of the Underground Railroad and to help others escape slavery. And imagine what that did to her life and her family, but she took that chance. So what it means to me in 2020 is that the women today are doing the same thing. They're taking chances, they're out there for our women, they're looking out for our youth. 2020 has been a hard year, but it's also been a year of learning. It's also been a year of pointing out all the injustices of the world. So we just pray that 2021, the women continue to do what needs to be done. And Harriet Tubman is just a trailblazer who we love.
To me, three things come to mind. Her strength, her faith, and her determination. She had the determination and her will to go forward. And I think that is very inspiring to the women of Peekskill today. How we are all together striving in our faith, in our determination, and our strength. Harriet Tubman is such an inspiration to me, from myself, my daughter, and all of the women of Peekskill NAACP. And I'm so grateful that it's here in our city of Peekskill, where we can learn and share the treasure that we have in our city.
Hello, my name is Cece. I am the co-chair of the Criminal Justice Committee for the Peekskill NAACP, and I'm honored today to stand here in front of Harriet Tubman, who's a trailblazer for women. She knocked out the ceiling for us so that we are limitless in the things that we are able to do. We are able to travel around the world. We are able to head committees. We are CEOs. And it's all because of her grassroots who led us this far. So it's just an honor to have her here in Peekskill. And we thank all those who had a part in having her come here. Sisters in Support, the Fern Tree, LaFern Joseph, we thank you. We're honored. I'm honored to be here today. And thank you.
And what Harriet Tubman's legacy in 2020 means to me is that radical change, or what we see as radical change, is not only possible, but viable and oftentimes extremely necessary. There's a quote that's often attributed to Harriet Tubman that goes, I freed 1,000 slaves and I would have freed 1,000 more if only they knew they were slaves. And to me, that speaks volumes to how we often fall into the trap of envisioning a future that falls within the constraints that currently exist in our society, instead of acknowledging that we ourselves are the weavers of our own societal fabric. So I'm so grateful that she is here, and her statue and her legacy is a daily reminder that we can dream bigger than the world that currently exists, an economic system that is hell-bent on centering profit over people, and a system that often criminalizes and impoverishes our Black and Brown community members. And if we are brave enough to dream bigger, that we can truly start to create a future that is more equitable so that we can all live a more dignified life. Thank you.
What does Harriet Tubman mean to me in 2020? It means freedom and motherhood. I can truly say being born and raised free in Peekskill has been a tremendous impact in my life. As a mother of an 8-year-old, this statue reminds me of my duty to protect and bring all future children into the 21st century. And lastly, to know that where I live, McGregor Brook, part of the Underground Railroad, flows freely through my backyard, and I'm reminiscent every day of the slaves that took that journey from the Hudson River all the way up to McGregor Brook. That's what she means to me in 2020.
When I think of Harriet Tubman, I think of all the qualities that she manifested. She was courageous. She had faith. she was she persevered and she was determined. All of those qualities which we really need today in our fight for justice. If people like Harriet Tubman had not done the work that they did, where would we be today? I think sometimes we think in this fight for social justice, we want immediate results. But when I think of Harriet Tubman, I think how she paved the way for today for us to be able to have the freedoms that we have. So I try, in the work that I do for social justice, I try to remember that and think of myself as working for the next generation, working so that we can pave the way for those who are coming after us. And that's what Harriet Tubman did for me. And today I feel like that's what I hope to, those are some of the qualities that I hope to carry forth and persevere and have courage and faith that we are moving in the right direction and that future generations will benefit from the work we do today. Thank you.
We're Amy and Adriana from the Peekskill NAACP Education Committee. And in thinking about what Harriet Tubman and her legacy mean, I think firstly, it's an important acknowledgement that in our own backyard, there were a lot of heroes who risked their lives to rescue enslaved people in our country. And it's a reminder that we all need to take risks in our lives to help our fellow humans.
Especially this year where we've had so many sacrifices. She sacrificed so much for her people, and this year especially, how many sacrifices we've had to have done, and the resilience that we see in kids and everyone facing what we're facing right now. So she's definitely an inspiration.
The history and legacy of Harriet Tubman in 2020 means to me that you are ultimately in control of your life. You can't wait for things to be different. Sometimes you have to be the catalyst that makes the change happen. Life is too short to be content with the imperfections of the world without attempting to make the world a more fair and just place for all. Sometimes we have to be like Moses and lead our people to freedom.
Hi, I'm Jay Buckwitz. I'm a member of the Peekskill NAACP, and it's an honor to be standing in front of Harriet Tubman's statue. As a black woman, she was ignored and thought to have no impact. And yet, here we are in 2020, standing in front of her statue. Her bravery, her intensity, her willingness to work for causes that everyone thought was impossible is a great example of what needs to be done today in 2020. In the middle of a COVID epidemic that is devastating communities of color, Harriet Tubman is a great example of the willingness to work, the willingness to be brave, and not to give up. And all of us need to go forward and not give up during these difficult times and look at this statue and find a source of inspiration. Thank you.
Harriet Tubman's life and legacy means to me freedom, and it reminds me that people need to be resilient. It reminds me that even through fear, we need to keep pushing forward because the thing that we're pushing forward for is for a greater cause. And even Harriet Tubman, somebody like Harriet Tubman, leading all these people to freedom, I know she had fear in her heart, but she still kept pushing forward and she was successful in it. So it just reminds me to be resilient. It reminds me to persevere. And it does remind me that there is hope for people who actually want to see people free. So yeah, that's what it means to me.
Hi, I'm Andrea.
And I'm Sherry. This is my daughter.
So, Harriet Tubman. Harriet Tubman epitomizes perseverance and determination. Her actions have inspired generation after generation to strive and fight for change. As a young woman growing up in 2020 and living through a pandemic, her actions and the actions of my ancestors have inspired me to not give up and not say, I'm stuck in a pandemic, there's nothing I can do. I'm going to live through this and fight through this and apply these values to other parts of my life.
She's also shown us how her resilience and perseverance means a lot. Going through what we're going through today, the ability to keep fighting no matter what is happening in life and in society. You keep fighting for a better world, a better place. And helping to free 300 slaves, it tells us that that wasn't an easy job, and we should take from her strength of having to continue to fight. And that's what she means to us.
Today, we welcome Harriet Tubman to Peekskill. What does Harriet Tubman's life and legacy mean to me as the president of the Peekskill NAACP? It means that there was work that was started that needs to end. And because of us having an NAACP, means we still have work to do. I thank Harriet Tubman for the work that she started, because without her, perhaps we would not have paved the way for the freedom that we have today. It is important that we understand that we are part of America's history. Her story, her history is everyone's history. She started something by fleeing, but then she went back and she got those who needed to be free. We all need to be free. And because of that, I will continue to work towards freedom for all.